Alrighty, welcome everybody. I hope everyone is having a good day. Oh gosh, got that frog in my throat right before I started. So for those of you that are new to my channel, my name is Julie Brown. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and welcome. So you're probably watching on Facebook. You could be watching on YouTube because once I record this live in Facebook, I do upload it to my YouTube channel. Now, for those of you watching on Facebook, if you like the cards that you see and you want a free tutorial, PDF tutorial, you will have to go to my YouTube channel and go into the comments to find that download because that's where I do it. Anyway, so welcome. So glad to have you guys here tonight. So while I'm waiting for everybody to get on, I'm going to take care of a little bit of housekeeping. And so the first thing is my hostess code for November is listed there. You can order through me if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator or you want any of the specials that I offer. You can order through me at juliebrown.stampinup.net. My email, if you want to reach out to me, is juliescreativestampin without the G at gmail.com. And then my Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram is Julie's Creative Stamping. And then my YouTube channel is a little different. You have to put juliebrown.juliescreativestamping. And also you might want to check out my website and blog because I've got a lot of really fun articles. Part of it is under construction because I'm still adding articles. So if you see something that you click on it and there's nothing there, it's because that is coming soon. So anyway, there's that information there. All right, so tonight I am going to be both doing heat embossing and blending, so two different techniques. These are two of my favorite techniques to add a little pizzazz to our cards. I just really think these are fun techniques to learn, fun techniques to do. So we're going to get started because it's going to take a little bit of time to do the second card because that's the blending one. And we're going to learn about our new masking paper because I'll be using that tonight as well. So let's look at the set that we're going to be using. So we're going to be using the Winter Owls bundle. Now, if you guys missed my other video, I did do a really fun pop-up card with the Winter Owls bundle. So if you haven't seen that yet, check that out on my YouTube channel. And just go to Julie's Creative Stamping, type in the Winter Owls, and you'll see it pop up. All right, so I really think this is a fun set. I'm having a lot of fun with it. So let's get started with our first card. And I am going to do these start to finish, which I know is a shocker because I don't always do that. But I just kind of felt like these are two techniques that I just really love to do. And so I think it's important. Now, I want to introduce you guys to the, this is our Embossing Additions Toolkit, and it comes with the tray, and it comes with a brush and some tweezers, and it comes with an embossing buddy. And this is definitely something you're going to want to have on hand for heat embossing. It just makes it easier on you. So the first thing that you do when you're heat embossing is you want to take that embossing buddy and you want to make sure that you get this rubbed on here. And so there's like a powder-like substance inside these little bags. And what it does is it takes off any sticky from like your hands and stuff. And it takes the static off so that when we put the powder on, it won't, the powder won't stick to where we've put the embossing buddy. The only thing it's going to stick to is the Versamark ink. All right, so to create this card, what I did was I brought in this big owl. This is one of the stamps from that stamp set. And I'm just gonna, let me see if I can pull my sleeves back. And we're just going to ink this up really good with your Versamark. Now the tricky thing with Versamark is you can't see what you've just stamped. And so because I'm going to be stamping kind of in some layers, that can be a little problematic. So what I'm going to do is stamp the bird or the owl. So there's my first one. I am going to bring this a little, oh, you know what? I don't have my lights on. That might help a little bit. So I'm going to bring this a little bit closer and see if you can kind of see how you can kind of see the image. So you can see it. It's just really light. Now I also want to bring in some of the snow, and I want to kind of, normally what I do when I'm doing stuff like this is I will stamp the bigger stamps first. But in this case, I want these snowflakes to fit between the owls. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to put a few of these in place before I stamp this second owl. And then I'm going to kind of do a third owl that's kind of flying off the page. Okay, so now let's get this second owl stamped, because I know you guys probably can't see, but I've got those snow images. I think I want him to be more like right there. All right. I hope I inked that up. I did. I was like, oops, did I ink it up? All right, and I don't know, I might be able to get his little tail right in this section right here. So we're going to ink up that tail, because I just kind of want to make it look like there's a bunch of owls. Actually, I'm going to grab these wings too. And I just want to make it look like there was like an owl leaving. Okay, and then I'm going to fill in down here with the snow. And the one thing that I've learned is especially with the smaller stamps, is you don't want to stamp real hard, because then you tend to get some shadows. All right, so I've done all my stamping. Now I'm going to bring in my tray, and I'm going to bring in some white embossing powder. Now, just so you guys know, this embossing powder lasts a long time. I do card classes, and we use this a lot, and these still last me like years. And the reason is because all of this stuff that you see in the tray can actually be put back in the jar. All right, let's see. Okay, I think that's looking pretty good. Now I do a little bit of flicking on the back side. And so you want to make sure, so now one thing I noticed is this little snowflake on the bottom. So I'm going to bring this closer just so you can see, because you want to make sure that you've got a good amount of powder on all of the images. All right, so let me lay this down. I'm going to move this to the side so that I don't blow. Oh, actually, let me show you just how easy it is. So all you have to do to put this back in your container is just to stick that down there. Also, if you're new to my page and you have any questions, or you just want to tell me hi, you can type in comments, and that allows me to answer any questions that you might have. All right, so we're going to put lids on everything. Okay, now it's going to get a little bit loud because we're going to turn on, this is our Stampin' Up! Heat tool, and we're going to turn this on, and I'm going to get it away from the microphone for just a second. Oh wait, actually I'll just let that run. You kind of want to let it run just a little bit, just because you want it hot. Now I'm going to use these really fun tweezers to hold on to this so my hand does not get really hot. And then I'm going to try to move this close to the camera so you guys can see it change. Because what it's going to do, and I don't know if you guys can see it on camera, but it goes from a dull finish to a glossy finish as you're getting it all heated up. And what you'll want to do before, like to check it, what I normally do is I will kind of get it under a light, and I'll kind of lean it, you know, left, right, up, down a little bit, so that I can make sure that everything looks nice and glossy and there's not any like dull areas. All right, so this is looking pretty good. I think I've got everything. All right, so let me go ahead and turn that off. Then we're gonna set that down, and let me move all of this stuff out of the way. just so I can get to what I need. All right. So the next thing that I wanted to do was I cut, hopefully they're here. I always lose the little pieces when I cut them. Never fails. All right, let me see. I know I had them sitting here, but that's okay. I will just get a new piece. Okay, so this is a really good use for your 1/2-inch strips that all of us have. Hey, Susie. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 1/2-inch strip and I'm going to cut 2 3/4 inch. So it's going to basically be a 1/2 inch by 3/4. I wonder if I might need it a little bit. Let me see. Yeah, I think I might want it a little bit longer. And we'll stick with 3/4. Everybody likes those measurements a little bit better than when I start going to 8s. So for today, we'll do that. Then I'm going to bring in the Night of Navy Stampin' Blend. You could do this with your Stampin' Write markers as well. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to I kind of lined it up here just to kind of give me a center point, and I'm just going to put a little dot where I think the center is, and then I'm just going to draw right up to that corner and right up to that corner, because what I'm wanting this to look like is an envelope. So now I've made a little envelope, and like I said, just a really good thing to do with all of this. You know, like I said, we always end up with a lot of these 1/2 inch little strips. And so you could make a bunch of these that look like little envelopes. Ta-da! All right. So now what we're going to do is we are going to add these envelopes on. And the reason I add, especially this bottom one on first, is because just in case any part of it was going to hang off the edge, I want to be able to trim this before I put it on the card front. So we're just going to come in with some liquid glue. And I really think this is a fun card because, you know, embossing is actually, this is actually one of those techniques when you do the heat embossing that is quick. And it actually is quick and easy. I know a lot of people are a little intimidated by the heat embossing, but you saw how quickly I was able to stamp that and then heat it up, and it just gives it such a cool look. So we want to just kind of attach those 2 little letters right at the bird's beak. I think I'm going to need this other strip again. Okay. So now what I want to do is, this is one of the new ribbons in the mini catalog. It's the silver and white sheer ribbon. And so we're going to come in and we're just going to, I kind of want it below that letter. Doesn't matter if it covers part of it. Okay, so I'm going to just put my Stampin' Seal, a little strip on each end. I went it a little bit high, which I have been known to do. So we're just going to like pull that across and then fold it, and then we're going to trim it because I need a ribbon. Okay, so we've got that on there like that. So now I'm ready to go ahead and put this on my card base. And we always try to burnish these edges with these are what we call our bone folders if you're new to stamping. then what I'm going to do is there is a little part of that envelope that came off the edge, and so we're just going to trim that. And then we're just going to come back in with my Stampin' Seal Plus. And I try to kind of get the edges and then do just a little bit in the middle. And we're going to go ahead and place that down on our card front. Oh my gosh, is this smaller than I thought it was? I may have cut the wrong size. Let me measure this. I thought it was supposed to be 4 by 5 1/4, and I did 4 by 5 for some reason. All right, so what I'm going to want to do, I do believe, I'm not sure if I'm going to like that on there without the extra at the top. All right. I think actually what I'm going to do is cut my card base down. So this is normally 5 1/2. So I'm going to cut it to 5 1/4. Just because I didn't like the way that was looking. And it won't hurt the card by doing that. But that's just kind of a quick fix if you ever do what I just did and cut it wrong. Cut your mat wrong. And it wouldn't have been a big deal if I hadn't already embossed everything on it. So now we're just going to lay that down there. And then what I want to do is I want to stamp the Sending Love from this set in also in Night of Navy. Hey Cindy, everybody's late tonight, but welcome, welcome. So this is the Winter Owls, and we're just doing heat embossing. And then the next one we're going to blend and make a really pretty scene with the blending. All right. Let me pull out my chamois and clean that one. That didn't quite clean. All right. So I kind of want to just cut this. I think it's probably is going to end up being about 2 1/2. Nope. So maybe 2 3/4. Maybe a little bit more. So I'm just going to cut it because I wanted to leave more on the left side than I did on the right side. Again, I'm trying to show you some fun ways to use these strips of paper. So we've already made the envelopes. And now we want to do this little Sending Love. But what I wanted to do on this is I'm going to bring in a mini glue dot because I want, I want this. I'm going to kind of look at where I want that. And so right behind this, I'm going to stick a glue dot just to help hold that ribbon in place. But I'm going to be covering it so we don't need to panic. But then what I want to do is I want to get this glue dot right in this top corner. And then I'm going to tie a bow. And as you guys all know, I have these little bow makers that I've made. So I'm going to tie myself a little bow. So again, I'm going to show you guys how to do it. Those of you that have this. So I'm going to be doing a small bow. So I'm working with these 2 legs. So what you do is you start down here, you bring this around, you wrap it around this leg here. Then you're going to go through the center of the 2 smaller legs, because this will do 2 size bows. Once you go through the center, then you're going to wrap it around the bottom, bring it up, bring this piece over, and tie your knot. I'm just not very good at making bows, so I had to come up with a little tool for myself to make a bow. And then it makes this pretty little bow. How fun is that? Okay, what is going on? My camera must be at a weird angle. Okay, so then what I want to do is I want to bring this bow in and stick it up here. But I also want this leg on this side. Let's see. I always kind of finagle it with the glue dot so that the legs will kind of lay the way I want them to. Then I'm going to bring in some dimensionals and we're going to pop this up. Again, just to give some layer or some dimension to the card. So I'm just going to put 3 dimensionals. And then I want this to kind of be over here, but I don't want it to be like straight with the ribbon. I want it to kind of come down at an angle off of that ribbon. And then we're going to trim this shorter so that we can see the sentiment. This one's being fussy over here. All right, so now we've got those trimmed, and we're going to finish off the front in just a second, but I believe I'm going to have to, I must have cut both of these at 5. How funny. All right, but this one I'm sure is off because I think this one yeah. So I cut this one at 3 3/4 and 5 to begin with, but because I had to cut that down, now it's got to be 3 3/4 by 4 3/4. See, it's easy to adjust, people. If we forget, if we mess up and we have the wrong dimensions, we can change it up and make it what we need it to be. Okay, so then on this one, what I want to do is I want to come in with, I don't think I cleaned that Versamark. So now what I want to do is I'm going to come in with the sentiment. And both of these are going to be in Night of Navy. And we're going to do some snowflakes as well. The snowflakes are going to be kind of down in this corner. Like so. And then we're going to come in with our sentiment. Okay, let me see if I can stand up. Let's see if I can stamp straight tonight. I never know. Depends on the night, right? So we're going to make that like that. I'm trying to go kind of fast with this card because the next one's going to take a little bit. But it's such a beautiful card. Okay, so now all we're going to do is we're going to attach this. And then we're going to finish off the front with some bling. And then this first card's going to be done. But again, heat embossing is I do consider these quick and easy cards, even though we are embossing, because it actually, I mean, once you do the stamping and you heat it up, it's actually a pretty quick process. Alrighty. All right, and then let's just get this for the inside, then we'll finish up the front, and then we will move on to our other card. So then this just goes on the inside like so. You guys know that I like, when I use the basic white card base, I always like matting the inside of my card. Okay, so to finish this off, I want to just bring in some of our rhinestone jewels. And we're just going to pick one up and we're going to put one right in the center to make it look kind of, you know how the old-fashioned letters or notes, they always had a little like wax. Ours is a shiny wax. At least I'm making it so tonight. And then we're going to go ahead and put one more of these little jewels right here on that. Okay, so like I said, it's a pretty quick and easy card, but there you go. So you've got your 2 little envelopes, and it just says sending love. And on the inside, may you have time to enjoy the quiet moments of the season. So fun card, right? And it's, again, everyone thinks that the heat embossing is a lot more complicated than it is, but it's really not. As long as you use the embossing buddy and you're just kind of watchful and careful, it comes out really nice every time. All right, card 1 done. All right, so now we're going to work on card 2. Now I have already, let me make sure I've got these cut the right size before we start. I don't trust myself now. Okay, so this one we're going to do some blending. Just checking my sizes. Okay, they're right. Woohoo! Okay, so what I did is we have, if you guys don't know about it, we have this masking paper. And what this does is, like, you could stamp an image on here and cut it out and die cut it out and put it over a stamped image here. And then it helps you to do some other stamping around it. What I'm using it for tonight is to help with some blending. And so you'll notice, and you can use this over and over again. Now, I am going to caution you, when you first, I'm just going to leave that tape on there because it's wanting to tear the whole thing off. So I'm going to do the circle up here. And actually, I want to get this straight. But I am going to caution you, when you first pull the backing off of this, and this is still kind of sticky. And so I really try to, like, put it on my hand and make it not quite as sticky. And the reason is that especially when you're blending, you tend to put pressure down. And when you do that, sometimes it'll, like, stick really bad to your piece of paper or your cardstock, and then it will start pulling some of the cardstock up. And so you really want to just kind of make sure it's not that sticky, but you can reuse this time and time again, which is, like, super cool. So now I'm going to try to get this straight. All right. And then we're just going to put this piece down here. And you can kind of already see, like, what I did earlier. And I'm not trying to push real hard on this, because you'll see if I push too hard, it's going to try to stick to the paper. All right, so I'm going to bring in my blending brushes. And this time we're going to be using Starry Night and Gorgeous Grape. And we're going to kind of be going back and forth a little bit with these colors. Sorry, let me get all this other stuff out of the way so I don't accidentally get ink on it. Okay, so I'm going to start with Gorgeous Grape. And I did re-ink these just recently, so I'm going to make sure I start off the page, and then I'm just going to bring that color on. And we're going to go all the way down to where this bottom piece is. So I'm just coming in, and I did get a little splotch right there, but I want to make sure that stays down right there. That's the only thing, when you reuse these, you do kind of have to watch the way you're curving. Like, you don't want to come in and make this go back. The first time you use it, it doesn't do that. It sticks really good, like better than it needs to. Okay, so then I'm going to come in with the Starry Night. And we're just going to bring this darker color in. Now, one of the reasons that I like to use purples, especially like for winter type scenes, is because for some reason, you know, purples, I don't know, I guess it's a cold, maybe it's a cold color. And that's why I think it works good when you're trying to work with these winter scenes. And I just saw a problem here. This tape is stopping me from getting color right there. Okay. My bad. Okay. Shoot. You know what? Let me come in with my smaller one. Well, that's nice and dark. Okay, now I've really got it messed up. Sorry about that. Let me just get this Scotch tape off of here. I thought that would help in holding it in place, and unfortunately it ended up, whoops, not allowing that moon to be where I want it. See how it's trying to fold up now? Okay, so I'm just going to kind of push it down. And that's just, oh, I just put that in the wrong color. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm messing up big time tonight. It's all right, we're blending, so it'll all be good. This will just be a really cool looking sky. All right, so we're going to bring in that blue. And I'm trying to like blend in this direction up here so it helps keep that moon in space in place. And I normally tell you guys to start off the page, but because I got so much purple up here, I'm trying to cover that up with blue. So I'm coming in with that blue. And all this will be taken care of in a second. So, but the one place I really want to make sure I get some blue is around this edge right here, around the like bottom edge of this moon. Then I'm going to come in, let me get this cleaned a little bit better. Once I do the stamping, it's all going to look fine, I promise. All right, and so then I want to come in here because I want to get this top edge of this piece with some blue, or starry sky is what I'm using. I do want to kind of leave some purple in the middle. Okay, so I'm probably going to come back with some purple right here because I wanted some purple here. Okay, so I'm not doing my best at blending tonight. All right, let's start off. There we go. Okay, so now what we want to do is pull the moon off, or the circle. Oh, and I forgot to tell you guys, so I used a 1 3/4 inch circle punch, which you can, this is an online exclusive. They don't have it in the catalog, but it is online. And then I just punched this out of that masking tape. Now I can use, I've already used this 3 or 4 times, and you can see how like this edge is starting to not be sticky. So now it's probably okay to throw this one out. But the nice thing is that you can reuse these several times. All right. So now what I want to do is come in with some black Memento ink, and we're going to come in with the tree image, and we're going to stamp some trees. All right, and the first one is actually going to be up into the moon. And then I'm just going to kind of go, and then I'm going to bring some down low to make it look like maybe a bush down here. And then I'm going to come right back up with another one here. And again, just not quite as low as I did before. But see, you're just going to kind of make your pattern with these, I guess, I think they're trees. They kind of also look like bushes. All right, so then I've got a few of those across. Now what I want to do is I actually want to come in with the Gorgeous Grape, because that's going to give it kind of some dimension with these trees. So we're going to just come in, and like I might even like stamp off the first time, and then like stamp right there. Okay, same thing, because I don't want it like real dark, so I'm going to just stamp off. And so we're just kind of bringing in that color just to give it a little extra dimension. Okay, so now we're going to pull this off the bottom carefully. All right. So then what I want to do is I want to create, let me see which way I want to do this. I want to create some snowdrifts. So again, I'm going to just stick this back down. I'm going to come in because I just realized I had a piece of Scotch tape on this, and I don't want to get that color everywhere. So I'm going to get that off of there. All right, I'll clean those in a second. So now what I'm going to do is come in with this smaller brush. And again, I don't want any, I'm definitely want to start off the page. And so I just want a little tiny edge coming up. So I'm inking up, but then I'm starting off, and then I'm going to come on. Because I don't want this to be dark, but I want it to be there. And so you can always kind of pull this back and look and see if you're getting what you're liking here. Okay, so now I'm going to pull this back and see how it's creating like some snow drifts. Okay, so then this one, let's see. I think we'll do one more this way, and then we'll try to make it go backwards or a different angle on the next one. Okay, so this one I want it to be maybe a little darker, so I'm pushing down a little bit more and getting a little bit more. And you'll notice I'm not going in a circular motion. I'm kind of just swiping. And then that's going to give it another dimension. Okay, and then we're going to come in. Let's see, how do we want it? Yeah, let's do this. I really don't want that lined up again, so let's do it like here. So how fun is this, right? You can just kind of come in and then just, I hit that one a little bit hard, but it's going to be okay. Because the purple, again, it just kind of makes it look like it's cold, and you're just going to work your way down, and I'll bring this closer so you can see it, and I'll get it off this background in just a hot second because I want you guys to see how cool this looks when it's all done. Okay, so again, I'm just going to kind of brush. I'm just trying to like swipe it across just to give it that snowy look. All right, and I think I like that. So I'm throwing this piece away because I think we're done with that. So let me bring this closer. So can you see the scene that we just made? Isn't that fun? And that's done with blending. And you can see like up here where I got it kind of dark, it actually looks okay because I was stamping some images over the top of it. So let me kind of flip this around and close these up so I don't make a mess with these. So what do you guys think? Do you like that scene? Was that fun? And again, that's just using that masking tape. And again, you can use it time and time again. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in, I'm going to kind of set this to the side for a second because we're going to do some more embossing, heat embossing. So what we're going to do is we're just going to swipe this little strip, and you guys will notice I'm using a lot of my 1/2-inch strips tonight because I think that this is one of those things that we get a lot of them and then they just sit in our scrap bin and we need to start using them. All right, so I'm lining that up, and then we're going to ink this up. Oh, Cindy, I'm glad you like that. Isn't that so pretty? All right, I gotta stand up because I want this to be straight. Now, sometimes stamping on 1/2-inch strips can be not as much fun, but if you guys have the Stamparatus, this would be a good time to use the Stamparatus. Okay, so I've got that stamped, and this time we're going to use our silver embossing. This is a little different tray. And so we're just going to put that over the top, flick the back, and then you can see I got a good covering. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, I am bad with my camera today. What is going on? All right, come on, can you focus? There we go. Well, it's trying to focus. Sometimes it doesn't like me when I get too close to it. All right, so we're just gonna pull these trays, you have to pull the ends out. I like the Stampin' Up one because it screws off. It's a little bit easier to get open. But I had these before Stampin' Up came out with that whole additions kit, which is awesome. Okay, so now I need my tweezers so that I don't burn my hand, and we're gonna grab the edge of this. It's gonna get loud again, so bear with me. And I'm gonna bring this close so hopefully you can see it as it changes colors, because it's gonna go from a matte finish to a shiny finish. So hopefully that showed up well in the camera. All right, and then we're gonna take this and we're gonna go ahead and stick this. I want this to be down here at the bottom, and so I'm gonna go ahead and bring in my Stampin' Seal Plus. So I got this an idea, and I don't know if I wrote her name down, but then I think I threw the paper away, and I'm so apologize. I believe it's Michelle Zindorf. She does a lot of blending, and so I kind of copied her colors and stuff. She did hers a little bit different as far as the finished card. But I loved the colors that she used, so I kind of used her colors because I just really felt like they went together well. So check out her YouTube channel if you guys, she does lots of blending. So she's definitely one to watch when she does her blending, because she's done some fabulous cards with the blending technique. And she makes it, of course, look super simple. And she doesn't make all the mistakes that I made tonight, but hey, right? We can't all be good at everything. But of course, and just realize, guys, anytime that you see, and don't think it's hard because you see me struggle with it, because when you're doing this at home and you have time and you're not trying to show people on a video, you have time to do that. I want to show you a fun little trick that I learned recently. So, you know, we can score this, but one of the other things that you can do to get this scored is you just push it up on your trimmer, and then you just fold it up in place, and then you just bring your bone folder in, and voila, it helps you to fold your card if you haven't oh, and that was probably totally off screen, sorry. So basically what I did was I just pushed it up here and then folded it, but it had this to be like snug against, so it was easy to fold it up to it. All right, so now we're just going to take this piece and we are going to attach this. Now I did, you know, the first card I stamped with, my pop-up card that I did a lot of stamping with this set. So this card I wanted to show you the standalone die owl that's in this set that is absolutely gorgeous. So we're going to lay that there. And then what I did, I cut these earlier. So on the dies, like you guys have seen me use this on that pop-up card. This time I used these two wings and this beautiful detailed owl. And so what I did was I cut the wings out of silver foil, and then the owl out of white. So what I'm going to do is come in with some liquid glue, and I'm just going to put some little dots along this edge right here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to attach this wing to the wing of the owl. And the way that I found to line this up is just take this first little, so let me show you. Take this first little section of wing right here and line it up with this line. And then you'll notice the rest of it lines up pretty good once you get that in place. Okay, so that's that side. Then we're going to add one more. And really the only thing that takes long on this card is the blending. Because you're not stamping an owl, you're die cutting the owl out. So that's kind of you guys know me and easy buttons, right? That's kind of an easy button. And again, I'm just lining this first little wing up with this line. All right, so then all I'm going to do is turn this over, and then I'm just going to add some glue everywhere there's not a hole. So you don't want to put glue where there's a hole, but I do want to kind of do a couple little dots right there on that tail of that owl. And then I'm just going to make it look like this owl is kind of flying up to the moon, or towards the moon, towards the light. So we're just going to push all that down. Then I'm going to let that dry for a quick sec while I show you the inside of this card. And then we're going to embellish the front. And so I went ahead and used the same sentiment because I really love that sentiment. And so, but this time I used Starry Sky ink. Let me stand up so that we can get it nice and straight. And that wasn't really nice and straight. Okay, that's why we have two sides. Let's try that one more time. Ladies, it's a night, right? All right, let me just try to slow down. Yay! Okay, better. And then I just brought in one of the little owls. This little one right here. And I brought in some, because I used the silver foil, I wanted to just come in with some smoky slate just to kind of mirror that and stick that little owl down there. So we're just going to stamp that one down in the corner like so. And then we're going to put this on the inside. Then we're going to embellish the front. And then we're going to be done with this card. So this again was one of those sets that a lot of people were like, I'm not really sure like what I would do with that set. So hopefully I'm giving you some ideas. Especially if you have anyone in your family who loves owls. This is just a really fun set for them. And then all I want to do to embellish the front of this, again, is to bring in some rhinestone jewels. And because I like to do things in odd numbers, I'm just going to put like 3 on this side. Come on, you can do it. And then we'll put 2 on this side. Because believe it or not, our eyes like odd embellishments, odd numbered embellishments. All right, so there's that finished card. What do you guys think? Didn't that come out so pretty? What a really fun like winter scene. And isn't this owl just absolutely gorgeous? So it just says warm wishes on the front. and may you have time to enjoy the quiet moments of this season. So this doesn't have to be a Christmas card because this season could be winter, right? And so even if you just wanted to send this card to a friend, because maybe they're getting a lot of snow or, you know, things are a little chilly for them, really fun card. So let's bring in that first card so you can see both cards tonight. So this one, I did heat embossing on both, but then I did the blending on this one. So hopefully you really love these cards, and I gave you a good idea of not just necessarily like using these owls. If you don't like owls, that's fine. But my plan tonight was to teach you guys how to think about using heat embossing, and how like you could just do a whole card where you've just heat embossed it. You can heat emboss a sentiment, and then some blending, because these are two techniques that, as you can see, make a really fun look to any card. So let me push these up and let me bring back the set so you can just kind of see everything that's in this particular bundle. So this is the Winter Owls bundle that I used tonight. Really fun bundle and really beautiful cards to be made. And then again, if you guys haven't seen my pop-up card, that's on a totally separate YouTube. And so go and check that out. But I will be uploading this to YouTube in just a little bit. And then a free PDFs for both of these cards will be on there so that you guys can remake these cards. But remember, if you don't have the owl set, but you have some other stamp sets or some other birds, it doesn't even have to be birds. Just think of something else that you could do with the blending technique and with the heat embossing technique, and pull those stamps out, pull that cardstock out, and get busy using what you have at home. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for being with me tonight. Again, I'm going to put my hostess code up for this month. So if any of you would like to purchase anything, especially if you want that Owls bundle, there it is right there. There's the item number for that. And yeah, so we'll end there for tonight. And I'm going to see several of you tomorrow on my very first collaboration with two other demonstrators. We're doing a huge all-day event with you guys, and so I'm really excited about that. So I'm going to let everybody get some rest so that we're all ready in the morning. So yeah, everybody have a great night. Thank you for being here. And if you want the free PDFs, make sure you check out my YouTube later tonight. And that is juliebrown.julie's Creative Stamping. Everybody have a good night, and I'll be talking to you soon. Bye.